Today on episode 16 of the Home of Play podcast, Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire, Marvel Avengers War Table, are we getting a Suicide Squad game? All that and more. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to episode 16 of the Home of Play podcast, where two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews, and that's because we're PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I am joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, Christopher.
Hello, hello.
Guess what, Christopher?
What?
I'm on fire. My skin's on fire.
Too hot to touch.
It's too hot to touch. If you like this and would like to support the Home of Play podcast, please help make others aware through the power of word of mouth. Every month we are growing, and it's all because of you lovely gamers helping us spread the cause.
If you could also subscribe on your podcast service of choice and rate us 5 stars on iTunes or any other podcast service that allows it. If you have a burning question, comment, or complaint, we want to hear from you. Please send either of those to our email address at homeofplaypodcast@gmail.com, and we can read your questions on the show or alone in private while weeping uncontrollably.
On today's episode, we have six news articles to discuss. But first, as always, let's begin with why my skin's on fire this week.
Why is it on fire this week?
I got kidnapped and forced into a fishing trip, and now I look redder than the angriest tomato you've ever seen.
Yeah, your arms are pretty glistening red.
Even my leg, like this whole, and I don't know why it's one side. Like, I don't know what I do that causes this.
And there's also chunks of skin missing out of you.
Oh my gosh. I literally bled. A hornet bit me so hard that blood started just coming out of me. I've never had this experience. There was a spider bigger than my hands. And I mean, I guess I don't talk about it too much, but I'm 6'5". My hands are like basketballs. And this spider was bigger than my hands. Like, why are spiders this big? I'm not in Australia. They shouldn't be able to take me and my dogs out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And those horse flies. Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
They'll take chunks out of you.
Well,
no
even
matter
black
what.
flies.
And they're quick, too.
Yeah,
like,
and I didn't know black flies were a thing, but they look like your regular house fly, maybe even a little bit smaller, and they also bite. Because, of course, why wouldn't Mother Nature give us more things that bite us? And, what the f*** do they even do with that? What do? They just bite you and they're like, well, that's cool. I'm just like,
do they get nutrition out of the chunks of skin they take from you?
Like, are they building humans with the chunks of skin they get as like an ambassador for all insect
Controlling
kind?
them from within.
Yes, I don't understand. So anyway, my skin's on fire. It's really hard to go to bed right now because I'm constantly hot. My wife already complained that everything's too cold inside the house, and I can only tell you it's about to get colder.
So, and then the trip was mostly fishing, right?
Yeah, I was fishing, and like even then,
relaxing.
I
didn't relax.
I didn't get a lot of fish, unfortunately. So I think I only caught 2 perch and 4, and they're like I couldn't keep any of them, but 4 walleye. They're so small, they might as well have been a goldfish.
And bait for other fish.
Honest, I made that joke to one of the other people. I said, why don't we just keep this on my hook and then maybe I'll catch real fish with it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a one-up competition. So other than that, I just had time for more Last of Us 2. I did forget last week when we were talking about all the games we played. I've totally left out that I was replaying a new game plus on Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, I knew there was something in me that I was like, I'm forgetting one of the games I played. So I actually played more that week. This week, not a lot of time with the fishing trip and the skin burn, but a lot more Last of Us 2. I think I'm closer to finishing it than not now. Basically around the 20-hour mark. So I can't imagine more than 10 hours and possibly less. So hopefully by next week, you'll finally get a final review from me. Chris, I'm unsure with, but that's all that really went on with me. Let's move on to you.
What have I been doing? So, I haven't played a lot of games this week. Did get a little bit more Last of Us. I think I'm at the 11-hour mark, just past the 11-hour mark. Definitely taking my time and exploring every nook and cranny because they hide so many notes and cards and all sorts of shit all over the place. I'm definitely missing stuff because you can go to chapter select and you can see all the stuff that you've missed. So I'm definitely missing things. So second playthrough, I guess I'll catch them. Apart from that, what else did I do? Played a little bit of Heroes of the Storm on PC. Couple rounds, like one night, I think. Just killed a couple hours. What else? Oh yeah, the other thing was too. I have one of the classic PS3s that still has the backwards compatibility. However, it's Blu-ray discs will work for maybe an hour, and then I guess it overheats and can't play them. So it's pretty much my backward compatibility device / DVD player. I also have the newer style PS3. Decided to move that one to my room because I felt like actually watching Blu-ray stuff as opposed to regular DVDs. And then I, for whatever reason, I felt like turning the original XCOM on. So I turned that one on for a little bit and did the first couple missions. And because I thought I'd finished the first one, but according to the trophies, I never did. So I'll have to maybe get into that one at some point. But they're a good game to just turn on randomly and do one or two missions and then go on from there. So
yeah.
Apart from that, that's pretty much it for me.
Wee. So we talked about our impressions last week, but I just want to get into like an update again, spoiler free, all that stuff, all that good stuff. Have your thoughts changed on The Last of Us in the little extra time you've put into it?
Still enjoying it. I'm picking up a lot of little things like audio cues that are really nice. For instance, like one thing I picked up, which I don't know if everybody would pick up, but when you're opening up safes, usually you can find the combo usually nearby somewhere on a note or something. But there was one that I came to, I guess that was particularly early before you actually find the note, because I did find it afterwards. I decided I'm going to crack this safe with just my ears, because I noticed there's a bit of a difference in audio cue when you actually stop on the number that's meant to go there. So it's very subtle, but it's slightly louder, kind of more of a clicky sound. So I was able to actually guess the combo on my first try, I impressed myself. Because I was like, the first two safes I did, I kind of thought I noticed something when I was getting putting in the combo. But this time it was like, when it opened, I was like shocked that I guessed it on the first try.
Nice.
So a lot of subtle things like that. I'm enjoying the story so far. I'm seeing a lot of stuff online. I'm not seeing like the major spoilers, which I've heard some of them way back when, but it seems like the public might not be happy with how it ends, because I think there's a petition now that people are signing to change the ending or something like that. So I don't know how bad it's gonna get, but guess I'll find out soon.
Yeah, I was slightly spoiled, but not really. I didn't read. Once I realized I was getting spoiled, I stopped reading. So I'm kind of hoping I misread some things. So I'm still kind of not sure what's going to happen. Where I'm at, things are different. So I'm getting a different feeling now. I'm a little less thrilled, but nothing crazy yet. So the gameplay wise is still, much the same. I'm getting certain things, certain events happening that are like really fun, totally different. I finally got introduced to the celophytes, I think they're called. Definitely terrifying. Made me think differently about whistles in general. Yeah, different weapons, all sorts of fun stuff.
I was totally stoked when I got the bow back.
Yes. Oh yeah.
This is where it's at.
100%. Yeah, more. I don't know. They're not all called clickers, I guess, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, now there's like different stages.
I guess let's just call them infected. But yeah, we found different infected types, so changing that. And like the story just gets more and more intense, more and more dark. Obviously, I there's some parts where I'm just holy crap. But overall, still positive. I don't know. It's one of those games where I'm not enjoying playing it as much as I just want to know what's going to happen. Like, it's just that good of a story to me that I just want to watch it as a movie almost. I'd rather just not play it at all, which is weird. It's it's just not my type of game. Like, I find I have the least fun with infected, the most fun with human AI. But I love, like, I still like the mechanics. I think everything about it's great. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing the game at all. I just wanna get through the story. I'm dying to know where we're ending off, what's happening, and does it open up at the end? Is it not?
And I thought I read too that maybe I'm wrong, or maybe this was just in my head, but I think they're planning to try to make this a trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting.
Have you seen anything like that?
I thought
I read something like that.
I skimmed through an article online that I thought said the same thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm wondering if there's gonna be a trilogy, you'd think somebody would live or something. So who knows?
You just made me think of something that happens, and shit. I'm so sad.
Okay.
It's not something I read online. It's just, shit.
I'm hoping this weekend I'll be able to dig my heels in deeper and see where this goes. So
yeah,
depends what comes up.
Yeah,
and then down.
Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, our impressions sound like they still haven't changed. Should be done shortly, so look forward to that. I guess if we feel strongly enough, we might do another bonus episode on that one. It is kind of a major game release, but we got plenty more to get to. So I say we just get to the news. Let's start with article number 1. PS Plus will celebrate its 10th anniversary next week. This one comes from us. Let's go with how does that make you feel?
I mean, it's exciting. I mean, you're talking about some sort of a paid subscription service, but I feel like, I mean, when it first came out, you didn't really get anything back when it first came out. It was just you could play multiplayer games, I guess, when it was kind of paired with Call of Duties a lot. And
well, no, when it first came out, it wasn't a thing that restricted you from online anything.
No, and then they started adding games that would restrict you.
But that was only when it got to PS4.
Yeah, when it got to PS4.
Honestly, I'm one of the naysayers, but I have bad feelings with PlayStation Plus because when we had PS3s, and I don't think it happened overnight, but eventually with PlayStation Plus, we were getting pretty substantial games across multiple platforms, and you're getting 2, but like sometimes they were just crazy good games. Like I remember at the time Devil May Cry, the one that I think Ninja Theory did. I think it was Ninja Theory. I can't remember. Too many Ninja. And I think we got theirs shortly after release. I remember getting Metal Gear Solids just constantly. It felt like every month you were getting at least one major real title, and you're like, holy crap, this is worth it. And I think that's why I got it, because at the time it just didn't make sense to me other than that reason.
Yeah, like a casual gamer could almost subscribe to it and they'd have more than enough games to sustain them forever.
Yeah,
they'd never have to go out and buy a game.
And then we got PS4 came out, and when they changed to PS4, then they were making it, you need this if you want to play with your buddies. So then everyone was kind of, not obviously some people are fine without it, but most people, I would say, were kind of forced into getting it. So fine, but then our game selection got worse and worse. And this year might be, in my opinion, like there's probably some high games, so you could debate this one. But like I think we've gotten some of the lowest lows this year that I think we've ever seen. Like I believe we talked about the month that was petitioned against, and they actually did change it, was the soccer one.
Yeah, the pro football, PES pro football.
Yeah,
Evolution or whatever it's called.
And then was it 2 or 3 months ago that we were also talking about like Farming Simulator?
The best game ever.
Apparently, yeah. That one turned around real quick on you, but at first we were negative.
Oh no, for sure. Like Farming Simulator 19 and Cities Skylines.
Yeah.
Which I always add everything to my library, but am I ever going to play it?
My final review, though, would basically be, if it didn't restrict me playing with my friends online, would I have the service? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that, like, every other month I might save $2 more on a game deal.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the more recent, was it last year when they stopped releasing PS3 and Vita games too? So now it's like just 2 big titles.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, they have big ones, like for sure. Like the latest one was it Call of Duty World War II or whatever?
But that's 2 years old.
And that's the thing.
If you're into Call of Duty, you're not going to pick up World War II at this point.
No, I can't even imagine. I mean, there's always going to be people playing them, but yeah. I mean,
you could have that insane fanatic who's just like World War II everything. But yeah. Honestly, other than him, like who you speaking to with releasing it that late, like it's just crazy that they didn't even have the year, but like that came out after that one. It was 2 years old, and I'm like, really?
I'm kind of hoping that they're going to do something special this year because it's the 10th anniversary. We haven't seen what July's free games are going to be, but I mean, there's a lot of speculation that it might be the original Spider-Man, could be the new Horizon, just because of the game announcements, like for the sequels. So, I mean, those would be some good titles. However, because those are such good titles, obviously, as PlayStation owners, we've already owned those games. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's
And that's where
at
like
least I
the
have
good
digital
months
copy.
don't speak to me as much, because if they are the titles that I'm interested, I've probably already played them anyway. So maybe I'm just someone who's just shouldn't be talking about this topic in general, because it doesn't seem like the service benefits me in any way other than the online multiplayer.
It'd be nice if they could somehow combine this service with the was it PlayStation Now? Is that the game? Is that the game? There?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be neat if they somehow combine those two services where you could like rent digital games, because that's kind of how it is, right? So you rent games that.
Well, it's not really renting anymore. They now, to try to compete with Xbox, they switched to a subscription service. So I think you can finally pay monthly fees or yearly fees. Like, I know that was, I think the deal last week is you could get it for like hella cheap, and then basically you'd have the year. And yeah, I think any of those games at any time you could download PS4 ones or stream the PS3 ones. And it's okay in that sense. Like, I'm not against that service. And if you're right, if they paired those or even made it slightly more expensive to have both, then I think I'd actually sign on.
And that's pretty much what we have for, I guess, to talk about for the 10th anniversary. We'll see what comes out. Article number 2. New domains point to a Suicide Squad game from Rocksteady and WB, Montreal's Gotham Knights. This article comes from Destructoid. Did you want to read this one?
Oh God, let's try. The latest rumors concerning Rocksteady and Arkham Origins developer WB Games Montreal probably aren't the updates you were hoping to see this late into 2020, but they're worth bringing up. Over the weekend, Reset Era connected the dots on newly registered domains with ties to Warner Brothers. SuicideSquadGame.com, reportedly Rocksteady's next game. GothamKnightsGame.com, reportedly WB Games Montreal's next project. Eurogamer says these two games are bound for next gen and set to be teased at a live stream DC Fandom event scheduled for August 22nd, 2020. The outlet believes Suicide Squad is further off from launch, and also heard that a third domain for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a good summation of what you can expect Rocksteady's next big project to be about. Chris, thoughts?
I'm excited. Big fan of the Batman games in general. I know the Arkham Origins one was different. But I remember playing it and it felt different from the other, like the Arkham series, the 3 main ones. So I mean, I'm excited definitely to see what that one will entail. As far as Suicide Squad, I don't know. I mean, they'll probably do better than the movie.
That's like my issue with this is, like, I have no hype level for anything titled Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I can barely say the word. So, maybe that's part of my issue with it, but I just don't care about the Suicide Squad. Okay, so my only positive feeling on Suicide Squad is DC makes a lot of those good animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
They had one with the Suicide Squad, and it was okay. And that's even my highest praise for anything Suicide Squad. And you're right, the movie dropped everything. I hated it. I don't care. I totally see them pushing Harley Quinn on this, and just all this other stuff that I just don't care about. I was personally like, going off of Suicide Squad, I know it's not exactly the same, but then Birds of Prey, the movie, came out as well, or whatever they changed the stupid name to because people didn't understand what the hell it was. And same thing, it's more Harley Quinn, and I don't care. She's not that great of a character, in my opinion. She's not like anything special. She was just a sidekick that,
I mean, yeah, they have like interesting kind of backstories, I guess, some of them and whatnot. But to see them all together, like, who do you play as in this game? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Is it going to end up being as poor as the Avengers game seems to me?
Yeah. So
and don't get me wrong, Rocksteady has the pedigree
Yep.
where they revolutionized the game with the Arkham games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no doubt about it.
Fantastic.
So I could eat my words, and I hope I do. I hope I do. I'm trying to be optimistic, but just hearing, like, and only hearing it, I'm not excited. I'm actually kind of sad. I was really hoping they were doing a Superman game.
Yeah, that's the one
And don't get me wrong,
everybody's hoping
those
for.
don't have a lot of good histories either. So this might be for the best, and maybe they tried it out. Maybe that's why it's taking so long to talk about this game.
I mean, there's so many games that essentially ripped off the combat style from Batman.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man's 100% that.
Well, I mean,
It evolved
the newer
it a
ones,
little bit.
yeah, because the original Spider-Man games kind of had the same similar combat style, but it was like back then, right? It was just
But it wasn't so much like the perfect dodge,
smooth and
counterattack.
it was
like
just
Batman kind of patented that.
yeah, they
right?
made it more fluid and did the timing all perfect. So, but there's been so many spin-off games with that similar combat style.
Oh, for sure.
Which is a good style.
It
It's
is
just
great.
But as soon as you see that game trailer and you see what's going on, it's like, okay, so what they're trying to do is Batman,
Yeah.
and let's see where they're gonna go with it.
For sure.
So, I mean, I'm excited for the Batman as always.
Yes.
Suicide Squad. I mean, it sounds like even from the article, it's still a ways away. So, I mean,
Yeah, I'm more excited for Montreal's because if it is the Court of the Owls story, I love that story.
yeah,
Same thing. Another great DC animated film. If you haven't seen it and you don't mind the animated stuff, I suggest watching it. I really liked it. It's a pretty good story. So I'm really looking for it. Like that is like where my hype is. Like, give me another Batman game. I don't care about Suicide Squad, sadly. And where the hell's my Harry Potter game? Like, I've seen the leaked stuff. Like, maybe they cancel it, and they probably did. But no, it looked really good, actually.
and I know you weren't a huge fan of the Gotham TV series, but they definitely did the Court of Owls storyline on
Oh, did
Gotham.
they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, I mean, I don't remember the original. Like, are you going from like an animated thing of the Court of Owls, or
Yeah,
a
I
comic
don't.
book?
I don't know the comic books too
So
well.
yeah, I don't know the lore
was-
as much as.
I was a welfare kid, so I couldn't afford the comic books. So I love cartoon characters and comic book heroes, but like I don't have a lot of background with them. Like even sometimes I remember seeing them on cartoons and be like, yeah, and we'll bring it up later. But one of the villains they reveal in the Avengers game, I kind of like I'm like I think I saw him in the X-Men animated series back when I was a kid, but I don't know who he is. But I'm still hyped. Like I still like these characters, even though I don't have the history that some other people may have because they could afford comic books. Fucking dad. Went and left for a case of beer, never comes back, and now I can't have comic books. What kind of life is that?
The only comic books I had were I had a couple of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones, like 10 maybe. And then I had Archie comics, if you count those. with the way you're shaking your head, I'm thinking you don't count those.
I don't count those. That love triangle was too weird. In real life, do two women have ever fought over a ginger? Like, I doubt it. Like, I'm saying if you did a statistics study, I doubt you'll ever find a ginger that's going to be like, oh yeah, women fight over me all the time without them crying at the end of the sentence. Like, are you kidding me? Just kidding. I love gingers. Snaps.
Subtle. That's funny.
Article number 3, Cyberpunk 2077. Every new detail announced at its Night City Wire event. Also, Cyberpunk Edge Runner anime announced with Trigger and Netflix deal. This one comes from IGN, and I'm letting Chris take it.
So this one is part of an article, but it kind of just lists all the things that they made note of, which I will just read from them because they did a better job. So there's the brain dance mode, which is a recording of someone else's experience and lets you live through their memories. Their sights, smell, sounds, everything will be experienced by you through brain dance. In an extended gameplay preview, the V was shown living through the memory of someone else's robbery of a grocery store. Which you can see this trailer online if you go watch the event. In an analysis mode, V was able to explore the same scene, but this time as an observer. They could move the camera angle around and analyze the memory from different perspective. It's kind of like a detective mode, similar to Batman, which was the very first thing that came out. As opposed to Batman, you're still in your body, whereas this one, you're kind of just a floaty ghost type of thing, type of viewing the scene from a different angle. Brain dance was created in UC Santa Cruz as a therapy method. That's the lore part of the game. It was later used for more carnal thrills. There are negative side effects like flatlining, where someone can die while brain dancing. CD Projekt Red says Braindance will be an important storytelling device to explore the world's history, philosophy, and different factions. The character will be working with a character named Jackie on a hunt for a legendary chip of immortality. Jackie introduces the player to a fixer that will introduce them to new chips and enhancements. The Mox is one of the gangs the player will encounter in Cyberpunk 2077 and craft a unique relationship with them. Outside of the city walls, there's 6 districts, I think, in the main city, and then the 7th district is called the Badlands. It's an open desert-like space filled with unique encounters called moments. Kind of reminds me of Mad Max almost in the way it looks like. The Atom Smasher is a big modified enforcer introduced in the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG, and now it's in the game. Ripper Docs are different from Backstreet Doctors in Night City. They'll enhance your character with new body mods. I think they mentioned some of them will be more integral in the story and how it advances, and there'll probably be a couple like just random no-name ones.
Can I just interject here? Backstreet Doctors, all right.
CD Projekt Red announced a new Cyberpunk anime show that's being produced by Studio Trigger for Netflix. That one won't be around though till 2022.
Yeah.
So I guess they're having high hopes that this will last, which based off what I'm seeing, it probably will. CD Projekt says development on the anime has been in the works for quite some time. Akira Yamakoa, that's the name, the composer on the Silent Hill series, will be composing the music for the anime, which that's always good. Everybody loves Silent Hill games.
I've never been like, I need the Silent Hill music.
No, I mean, it's creepy and stuff, but I mean, I don't
I'm nothing against her. I just...
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to it on shuffle.
Sing me a Silent Hill tune, right? Like, yeah, the radio going... if you're in the store, grab some milk. Dad, you're coming back from the store?
The other big thing that I'll make note of is that it's going to be free to PS5 owners if you've purchased the PS4 version. So, if you purchase the PS4 version, you'll get the free you'll be able to automatically play it on the PS5. It won't be an optimized version of the game. That's apparently going to come at a later date, which is also the same for Xbox as
I feel like it will, like, it's not going to be a different up-res version, but you're going to get probably more stable frame rates at that like fake 4K that the Pro and Xbox X do.
Yeah.
And then you're also going to get probably the faster load times organically. Now, this is just me speaking from digital. I don't know how the hell they're going to do like physical copies of the game.
It's hard to say. Sometimes the physical copy of the game is really just an access to turn the game on, and then there's a patch that's on the game that makes everything work.
But so I feel like there's going to be some benefits, but yeah, don't expect like real 4K and all this better textures and blah 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 until I think we talked about this last week, and I think we're looking at sometime in 2021 that you're going to get a real upgrade, and that's going to be free.
Yeah, they didn't specify a specific date or anything, so, but I mean, whatever, free's free, I'll take it, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the highlights of the show. I think they said they're going to be doing a different episode every month or a couple weeks or so. What were your thoughts on this? I mean, I think it was interesting. I mean, it's nice to know there's actually reviewers getting the game now.
That's my biggest demo thing is we finally have people who got to play this game.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, and like, it sounds like they got about 4 hours worth. A lot of the people that got to. I like that it was, even the demo was designed seemingly open. So at least the one I read, the guy picked that, his character comes from this background, and that background just happened to be outside Night City.
Yeah, they started the game campaign in the Badlands.
Yes.
And then when they got into the city, it was something like, there was kind of like an intro story quest line.
Yeah, I think he had to smuggle something into Night City.
Yeah, to get in.
Yeah, because he was leaving his outlaw gang or something like that. So that was cool. Like, it sounds like almost anybody you would read about who's played this is going to give you a different experience, which sounds really great. I like that they did it that way. I like that it was 4 hours. And the best part about all this is it almost seems unanimous that they all enjoyed this.
Which is good to hear, especially when you're having so many different perspectives and just different areas of the game, right? If you can start at a totally different location, it's interesting to see.
Yeah, and it creates maybe not like I don't know. I couldn't see it being a definite like replay, but it would help you the possible. Geralt always started the same.
Yeah.
So, and same with like Skyrim and all these other games. So it makes it harder to want to replay. Having a different intro, I could see, at least for myself, making it me want to go back.
Potentially more replayability.
Yeah.
I just like seeing different people's perspectives on what, if someone has, one person has 4 hours and they start in a totally different location, they encounter different things, and then the other person starts somewhere else. That's really cool. So, I mean, yeah, it was an interesting video. I think it was about 25 minutes long. You guys could find it online to see it. It was kind of a little bit of footage. It was maybe half footage and then half of one of the girls there talking with two of the people that work on the game. Can't remember.
Yeah, we got a new trailer too. I mean, that game's such an open thing that it's hard to get like a real story out of it. Just you're going to be doing things and your choices are going to matter, and then we got 1 second screen of Johnny Silverhand again. Not really confirming.
The only thing was, with Keanu was because the character was moving around and Keanu was doing the exact same movements he was doing. So it's like, are they the same person? Are they in the same head type thing?
Well, yeah, that's the feel I got, is that Johnny, wasn't it Borderlands where Handsome Jack is like in your AI or something? I feel like that's what we're looking at. And he's like, shit, I'm dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like in your head. So that's at least my take. I could be totally wrong.
Who doesn't want Keanu Reeves in your head?
It's a dream. It's a goddamn dream. I'm still mad that they made that blessing of a man lie to me, but whatever. Lied twice almost, really.
Yeah, it's true.
He said we're all beautiful, and I believed him.
It's true. You're beautiful.
Yep. And I don't know. Yeah, my biggest takeaway was not even the event. It was just the fact that now people we trust out there are actually playing it and saying they want more. And I think I'm back slightly on the hype train. Don't get me wrong, I still don't expect to play this game till like 2077. But with all these delays. But if I'm wrong, and I guess it comes out in November, which still seems like a long time away, hooray.
Yeah, I know last week I was wavering on maybe even canceling it, but I don't even know why I did. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, with the free upgrade the free... It's not, you don't want to call it upgrade because they're also doing an upgrade
with
as well.
Its backwards compatibility.
Yeah, backwards compatibility and the free upgrade. I'm excited. So
I just still feel like the upgrade's wasted. If I play it now.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if I'll play it at that point.
Exactly. So I may never experience this.
Maybe the multiplayer. Like I don't know. In one way it would be good. Like how I played Witcher 3. I was really late to that party. Like all the DLC and everything had been already released by the time I played. So I mean. But this one, I don't think I'm doing that. So
yeah, well, yeah, because I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I think we talked about that last week, and yeah, there's a lot of seemingly a lot of stuff coming possibly in November. Like I heard rumors. I want to definitely state that. But like some talk about Ubisoft being upset that like Cyberpunk moving to November, which then I'm like, okay, if the rumors are true. Does that mean that's when they wanted to kind of start bringing out maybe Watch Dogs, some of the other games? I know that leaked weird thing with Gods and Monsters. Like, was November a power month for them?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I know one of our commenters on our YouTube video had mentioned maybe that this is what they were trying to do. They were trying to align with the launch of the new system. I honestly don't know if they could think that far ahead because the way they've been postponing the game. So. I mean, that's maybe a hope that they would release at the same time, but I don't know if they had planned for that to be their goal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
and with Valhalla already coming out, maybe that's where the rumors coming out. It's not even about their other games.
Yeah.
It could just be, oh crap, now like that was what maybe the window they were thinking about releasing Valhalla in. So. You take it with the good, you take it with the bad, but it was overall, I think, a positive. If I had to rate the conference, it's hard to rate it against, some of the other ones we did, like EA, talked about more than one game. This is one of the only times where I can think of a conference just dealt with one game.
Well, and they're going to do like a monthly or every couple week thing too.
But I don't know. I'm going to give it like a B+.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I'm around that too.
So we're moving on to the next one. We're going article number 4. Marvel's Avengers will have free PS5 and Xbox Series X upgrades this year. Destructoid, take away, Chris.
The sooner developers can come right out with it and confirm their next-gen upgrade plans, the better. For its part, Square Enix is launching Marvel's Avengers on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X this holiday season, and players will be able to upgrade from the PS4 and Xbox One versions at no additional cost. Player progression will carry over, and going a step further, there's cross-gen multiplayer. There's a quote. PS5 players will be able to play Marvel's Avengers with their friends on PS4 and Xbox Series X. Players will be connected with their friends on Xbox One. Square Enix confirms this afternoon. A quick reminder that current gen console and PC versions of Avengers are launching on September 4th.
So now that Cyberpunk's off of September, apparently you have a game to play in September still.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that is the highest selling point for Avengers.
It's got a nice window of nothing.
Yes. Wednesday, Marvel's Avengers also had a little conference. I think it was called War Table. And they revealed a new trailer, some gameplay stuff, and, released a few more facts. Looks like they revealed MODOK, I believe is the villain's name. As long as I also believe there was another villain they released. It kind of looks like one that I believe was part of the Hulk's universe of villains. I just don't know his name again. Couldn't afford the comic books. Don't blame me. But yeah, it was a small little thing. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm still on the fence on this game.
I wasn't even on the fence, to be honest, at that point. But after watching the two trailers, there was one more of a cinematic trailer, which looked good, and then they showed gameplay footage of being able to play co-op with friends. I assume that's what it was because that's how it's being reported as. But it could have been NPCs for all I know.
Well, this game is games of a service. It feels, and I've talked to other people about it. Take Destiny, splash it with some Anthem, and you have a huge turd. And that's my fear for this game.
That's what I'm worried about too, because they definitely show clips of them in the sense that it's like a looter shooter with all the common gear, rare gear.
And that's my fear that I've talked to with other people is like, is this just the same 4-hit, you press square 4 times combos? I know you said you read a little bit about like 2 characters can have a special attack together.
Yeah, combo attack.
But if it's just combos and that one special, how many times do you do that over and over and over until you're bored of it? There's just a lot of fears of game as a service with me, honestly.
Yeah, it's honestly hard to say with this one. We'll have to keep an eye on it when it comes out.
They are talking about a lot of
I guess
any DLCs, any additional characters I'm hearing is going to be free in the future. So, when they add Black Panther or whatever, like that's kind of cool, but am I still going to be playing that game at that point?
I'm guessing this is this technically Square Enix first attempt at a looter shooter type thing?
So this is Crystal Dynamics.
But aren't they a sub?
Square kind of owns and produces for them. So publishes, sorry.
Top down, yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is kind of their first attempt at...
Well, they made a name for themselves with the first Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And then I believe they did...
But it wasn't a looter shooter by any means.
No. And then they did, I think, the second one. I don't think they did the third one. I think they've been working on this for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It's kind of, as far as I'm aware, it's Square Enix's first looter shooter.
So yeah, I'm a little bit more hyped for this one after seeing these new trailers and whatnot.
And
but
it's good to hear we're getting another free upgrade.
Yeah, another free upgrade. Well, but how is it worded? Like, it's going to be free. I'm moving my hands around. Because what did we say for the other game? There's upgrading Cyberpunk. And then there's
backwards compatibility. Yeah.
So yeah, it says there's backwards compatibility. Have they specifically specified there's actually going to be an upgrade with the PS5 version? I don't know if
that is true.
Worded exactly that way. So
with being an online game, I could almost see it not getting that.
Yeah. Well, especially if they're going to make it also cross system play.
Yeah.
Cross gen play.
It's not impossible. Technically, Final Fantasy 14 Online does it.
Yeah.
PS3 was running the worst, and I know that's why when they finally came to a certain expansion later on, it just no longer worked.
Right.
On PS3, I think it was Storm something or Shadowbringers. Yeah, I think it was Shadowbringers. That PS3 just could no longer play that game anymore. That PS3 could barely play the game at the best of times. So if you were playing that version, God help you. But yeah, the story trailer made me a little more interested. I do
Still
like
iffy with the main character.
I'm iffy with the main character is just not a character I care about, but you are going to be selecting other characters. You can play as Thor. I still have a little suspicion that Captain America will be secretly coming back somehow, just because he's still in the title. Every time I see a picture, he's the front character. And I just why are they going to develop this character for you to play for 10 seconds in the intro to kill off?
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Red 13.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't kill him off, but you didn't get to play as him.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I don't know.
And that's Square.
That's true too. Oh, damn, that is true. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still on the fence, but a little positive on the story aspect, a little worried about the gameplay aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And Elastigirl. I think she's supposed to be called Miss Marvel, but Elastigirl. Article number 5. The Last of Us Part 2 is 2020's biggest UK physical launch and Sony's fastest selling PS4 game. This one comes from Destructoid.
Naughty Dog's grim adventure, The Last of Us Part 2, has debuted at number 1 in the UK charts. More significantly, it is Sony's fastest selling PS4 release this generation, beating previous record holder Uncharted 4: A Thief's End's launch sales by a slim 1%. Woo. As noted by GamesIndustry.biz, this hugely anticipated sequel has taken sales by storm. Not only is The Last of Us Part 2 the UK's biggest physical release of the entire year, outselling Nintendo's Animal Crossing New Horizons by 40%, but it is also up 76% on the launch sales of the original Last of Us, which dropped on PS3 back in 2013. It's worth remembering that all of the above statistics count for physical sales only, so one can only imagine the numbers once you include global digital downloads.
It's got to be huge.
It's got to be way more than that.
Like, we're talking about a COVID time where digital's starting to outdo the physical.
Well, not to mention, like, the original Last of Us got re-released onto the PS4, so they didn't even mention that in this article, so I have to imagine the statistics are way even higher with that one, too. Unless they're blending them together, but... Because I think you could buy a physical copy of The Last of Us for PS4, I think.
I think so, yeah.
So, it's good to hear. I mean, well, we want Naughty Dog to succeed, that's for sure.
Yeah, the more Naughty Dog games, the better, and obviously higher sales are going to get us that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about this. I mean, it's an exclusive game, so we're happy to see that selling good. I don't think there was ever any talk of them doing it on any other system, right? So, like PC or anything like that, like Horizon.
No, I don't think if they're going to try this Horizon thing on PC, it's just going to be a test, in my opinion. If it does really well, we could see more of it, but look how long it took Horizon to come out. So I wouldn't think, don't... It's weird, because I think you can play with the app they have on PC. Like, technically you can play, I hear some smug people online use that as like, well, I can play God of War on PC, but you got to use the stream. It's horrible. Like, don't play any amazing game like that. So
it just ruins the experience.
So yeah, like, if they ever were going to put The Last of Us 2, let's say 2 specifically, you're probably going to wait 4 years. I mean, unless PlayStation really revs up, you're like, oh no, you know what? We really like this PC realm. We're going to do this every, maybe the delay's only a year or 2 years. But until we see that, yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath for this.
It's pretty impressive, too, that it outsold Nintendo's Animal Crossing New Horizons by 40%. I wonder if that statistic's also just specifically for the UK.
I think it's just the UK.
Because I'm pretty sure Animal Crossing, killed it in North America. Like, everybody was buying that sucker.
Yeah.
So, that was,
it dropped
you have
at,
a Nintendo system,
yeah.
You're buying this sucker.
It hit at the right time, honestly.
Yeah, it did. It really did. So, yeah. That's just a quick article.
Yep. Congratulations to Naughty Dog, and I hope it just keeps selling, honestly. Article number 6. Facebook buys developer Ready at Dawn. This one comes from Game Informer. Facebook has announced that it has purchased developer Ready at Dawn, who've been working on multiple games, in its Lone Echo VR series, and will continue to do so for Oculus, Facebook's VR platform. Ready at Dawn worked on Sony properties like God of War series before handling its own IP, The Order 1886, in 2015 for the PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, the title never took off.
Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Me and Chris are maybe the only two people on Earth that enjoyed that game.
Yeah, probably.
The good news, however, is that the studio has since had success in VR and the Oculus, making multiple Echo titles. The latest, Lone Echo 2, is due out in 2020.
My only comment on this is I have no clue about the Echo games that it's talking about. Mostly probably because I don't really watch VR content on PC. But yeah, the Order 1886. We both really enjoyed that game, apart from the fact that it was super, super short.
Yeah.
And had zero replayability.
Yeah, it had zero replayability. The story was definitely abrupt at the end. They could have done a better job there. And like, this is also their problem. Like, the graphics were amazing for the time.
Very good.
The best PS4 game you're getting that year for, well, any game, honestly, in my opinion. Just looked fantastic. It ran pretty well. I don't think I had too many problems. Like, I'm having more glitches in The Last of Us 2 right now than I remember having in that game. Yeah, it was just short. They definitely focused too much on it, the graphics, and I think that hurt it.
The combat was okay.
The combat was good. I had no problem with it. I loved the story. Maybe not the story, but the lore of it. Like, I loved their lichens or werewolves. They didn't need the vampires at the end, but they put them in anyway. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with it. It's cool. Like, I don't think we actually ever fought one.
It felt like a very in-depth prologue to a series.
Yes.
And it's like, and the game starts. Never.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, damn, but this was just ramping up now.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens in this world.
And I really wish they would have had a chance at a number 2.
Yeah.
Like that.
I would have played a number 2.
I would have
sure.
definitely. I was actually looking forward to seeing this 1E3 just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden there's a werewolf, and I'm like, oh, I know what this is. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, good for them. If this is the future and it's going to be supportive and it's what they want to do, then great. It's just me, the fan, that's like, crap. Like, I really
wanted more from the Order.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a good game. I remember the very first week it came out. It's like I plowed through it in 2 seconds. Got every trophy, and I'm like, I'm never ever gonna come back and play this, because it's like I want the game to start. Is what I said.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, feels like it's just about good now.
But I love the lore. Like, the guns were cool. The characters, the costumes,
they set it
the
all
period
up.
piece. Yes,
They set it all up.
Set it all up real good.
And not going to get a home run because it's where it's going to end. And I remember, I finished it in the very first week, and I actually just ended up going on a buy and sell and sold it, and I actually made money on it.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good purchase.
You're all winning then.
Yep.
So, yeah, not a lot to say on that one either. Just sad. Good for them, and I hope they do well. Just sad for, a Sony fanboy. Okay, that is it for our news, friends. We are moving on to your homework for the week. Some articles you might be interested. Chris Avellone no longer working on Dying Light. Allegations of sexual harassment. That's a good article. Go read it. PS4 exclusive Ghost of Tsushima has gone gold, so we're seeing that in July, and probably means no more delays.
Couple weeks,
guys. We're getting a game in July. Let's just be happy. And then the sad one for me is one of the games I listed for most anticipated of this year. Tales of Arise is delayed. No new release date announced. It didn't really have one before. But yeah, basically it sounds like it's not coming out in 2020. So boo. So that's it for this week for homework. That's it for this week in news. And that is it for this week with your friends, Chris and Steve. We are signing off yet again, but we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I kind of like the problems that we have sometimes. Sometimes I just leave them in because I'm like, it's funny. It lets them in on the jokes of it.
Well, yeah, I forgot to tell you how many there were. So
that's not a problem. Going on to article number 2. New domains point to a Sue Squad. I hate that word. New domains point to Sue Squad game. Hey, you're reading this one. Just read it. I hate my life.
Article number 2. New domains point to a Suicide Squad game ready. Oh, sorry, shit. Okay. Article number 2. New domain.
See? What is wrong with the world?
You've done something to me.